I got a real crash course in what the WHO is and was kind of in April 2020. And I'd say maybe most of the world doesn't know much about it. It's got an amazing sounding name, the World Health Organization. And, when you first heard about it back in 2020, you just assumed they knew what they were doing. Luckily, luckily, I was one of the few people that had various guests on my show that started breaking down the very, very dark side of what the WHO, from Tedros to the Gates funding to, and then the way it's continued to the CCP funding. And, at the time also, when YouTube was censoring me, they said, you can't say anything against what the WHO said. That was their de facto guideline at the time, even though they were actually...
Absolutely. That stems from the BBC's Trusted News Initiative in part.
Right. Okay.
The Trusted News Initiative, which you have so kindly given to us, us being the rest of the world, courtesy of your BBC, defines misinformation as anything which is contrary to that information being shared by the World Health Organization or your national health authority. So whether it's true or false is irrelevant. What matters is only that you literally toe the party line. I mean, Stalin would be proud.
Yeah, it's flabbergasting. All you have to do is look into it briefly. And again, the BBC were ultimately responsible with getting us, banned on YouTube, because they were actually watching my massive live broadcast on April 6th. And it was actually them that called YouTube out that ended up getting that video pulled. So which is odd, because I didn't think they were a policing organization, but they kind of...
Silly you.
Yeah. They kind of self-appointed.
They've recently upped their game now, haven't they?
Yeah.
With this new initiative.
It's pretty incredible when you go deep here, and it gets dark very fast. And again, you can go deeper down the rabbit hole and look at the way that they even went to check out the Wuhan lab and just the half-assed investigation by the WHO there, and all the links. I mean, it's downright shocking when you get into it. So the fact that this organization would be taking away sovereign decisions based on the whim of a single individual who's clearly been compromised by various types of funding and special interests, it's something we all want to be aware of. And then, Robert, when you talk about how they can quickly add in climate or any other quote unquote threat or disaster to it, and then you see these 15-minute cities, and then you see
too many pubs in Britain. We've got to do something about alcoholism.
Right. I mean, all of a sudden you can see how it can be used to control the population. And then when you dive into your sovereignty initiative and you look at the rise of CBDCs, and then what, again, China's doing with the social scores and the monitoring and the facial recognition and the 5G, you can quickly see how the last lockdown in 2020 and 2021 is child's play compared to what could be happening in the future, where, you won't even have a choice, perhaps, because everything will be suspended and you might not even know what the hell is even going on.
Well, and now suddenly the Tom Cruise kind of future dystopia of Minority Report looks prescient.
Yeah. And specifically in there to remind people, like, what are you seeing there? That control of information, that watching of everybody.
Yeah. So it's a truly the gift that you have given us, not just the Trusted News Initiative, you being British culture, of course, is Mr. Huxley and Mr. Orwell, who so presciently foresaw all of this and warned us about it in so many different ways. Although I'm not completely convinced that Mr. Huxley wasn't in part an advocate for a lot of these social mind control technologies. But there it is. We it's wake up time. Wake up, or do you is this the world you want to live in? I think that you're, from the little I know about your clientele, these are folks that believe in capitalism, believe in free markets, believe in individual autonomy and sovereignty. And, And as I mentioned on Neil, that seemed to be the quote that lit people up. In a world in which governments are willing and capable of deploying these advanced psyops technologies, like neurolinguistic programming, nudge, etc., the concept of sovereignty becomes obsolete. It is irrelevant. It's an anachronism. I was mentioning the gentleman that was my counterpoint, my gentle counterpoint on Neil Oliver, who's making the case that the way elections work in a representative democracy, or whatever it is that you guys have in the UK, I'm not sure what the term is that every 4 years, the people have an election, and then they basically concede their sovereignty to those elected officials for a 4-year period. And then they get another shot at it 4 years later, was his case he was making. And that during that interim, the government operates with relative autonomy and authority to act in whatever fashion it deems appropriate. In a world in which these advanced psychological manipulation technologies are governments are willing and able to deploy them, 4 years is plenty long enough to convince the majority of the population that the Earth is flat and the moon is made of green cheese. This is extremely dangerous, because even though it may be that 5 or 25% of us who value our freedom are aware or awake of what's going on, that does not constitute an electoral majority. The vast majority of the population is readily manipulated by fear, as we've seen, and many other methods, and will go along with the authority figures quite readily. And where does that leave the likes of you, me, and those of us that are cut from the same cloth? I'm concerned that over the shorter term, we are facing some considerable challenges to our ability to live in a world that we have taken for granted.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex
concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.